What is going on, my beautiful souls? This is Jen catching you on DTWJ Life. Hope you're all doing great. I do. I know that this is a really hard time for some of us, okay, but I know that also the Pluto retrograde is affecting all of us in a very deep way. A few notes that I would like to mention. One thing is that during Pluto retrograde, you need to be careful what you wish for in terms of what you want to get rid of. Try to complain a lot less. The reason why I say that is because when you complain about something around you constantly, even obsessively, the universe does listen. And this is a time that those things that you do complain about kind of, are taken care of, all right? They're done without. You won't be living with it anymore. It's a time also of road clearing, okay? So anything that you incessantly may obsess on or complain about, that is a legitimate complaint, okay? Things that, like, you're done with dealing with are going to be cleared now from your path, so that you can move forward. North Node, baby! So that you can North Node move forward. Yeah. This is for all signs, okay? We're focusing on the North Node energy as it pertains to the Pluto retrograde. North Node is in Cancer, and it will be up until the first half of 2020. So, I wanted to begin this by using my medicine deck. I'm gonna put, the information for that in the description of this video about, the decks that I'm using along with other info. Interesting. This one wants to come out the most. That's one. Okay. Two. Do understand that I've also had this deck for almost 19 years, and one card is looking like that. So I've been working with these for a very long time as well. I know what you're thinking, Jen, it's time for an update, but I'm actually quite happy with not only how these two decks that I have work, but the energy in them is just quite amazing. I have no complaints as far as that goes. I am not wishing that away. Okay. So we have 3 cards laid out, and no, I don't have any gems on hand to put on top of each. Imagine I see the Jaguar as possibly being the Black Obsidian. Okay. Doing without, right? Check that out. Right there. Jaguar. This is about integrity and impeccability. If you've ever picked up the book, you'll see that this is not the book for the deck, but the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. You'll see that impeccability, being impeccable with your word, is the first agreement. Integrity and impeccability. Okay, this says, Sacred Jaguar, teach me to wear my power lightly, to walk with impeccability, to approach life with compassion, and live up to the integrity of my human potential. So if you were to add the Black Obsidian to this message, it is to work on yourself to rid yourself of any heaviness, anything that may be weighing you down, anything heavy on any of your chakras, especially the heart chakra. Okay, matters of the heart that may be holding you back. Because if you walk around with a heavy heart, you're going to be heavy as a person. Your communication is going to come across that way, and people really are not feeling that. They're dealing with heaviness of their own. Yeah. Sacred Jaguar, teach me to wear my power lightly, to walk with impeccability. You can be impeccable with your truth, your being, your word, your expressions, without necessarily having to be heavy about it. You're not here to stomp around and control others. You can only control yourself. Integrity. I like it. So that's the first medicine wheel message. The second is the Badger. I would not know what type of gem would go on it. If you can think of one, leave it in the comments. Totally. The second card is the Badger. Okay. And it says aggressiveness. The complete opposite of this guy here. Okay. This guy is the complete opposite of this guy here. So it's obviously a different medicine wheel for a different number of you. It says, until you reach your goal, know the inner power that lives within your soul. Beautiful. I think this is a message of tapping into the resources that you already have. And it's so funny that earlier I mentioned, watch what you complain about. Because the more obsessively and incessantly that you complain about something, the more apt the universe is to take that very thing away from you, to clear it from your path, to clear it from the road so that you may walk easier. But yeah, absolutely. Count your blessings, okay? Think about the resources that you do have and use those. Third card, skunk. Talking about clearing a path, man. Reputation. Ooh. Okay, this is either like the way that people may see you that is unsubstantiated, or something that you have created for yourself that you project forth. This says, skunk, tell me the story so I will know it well, of how to attract and how to repel. This almost is like tapping into your resources, but not quite. That's why it's so different. It's more of how you express yourself to yourself and others every time that you look in the mirror every morning and every night before you wake and go to sleep. What are you expressing to yourself? Take some time to pay attention to that, okay? Absolutely. Yeah. Attract and how to repel. Because there are some things that, you know, right now, this is kind of like a cross balance. You're attracting and repelling things at the same time in order to create a gate or a gateway that either closes or opens, if that makes any sense. And those are the very things that simultaneously you're expressing to everybody around you. That's interesting. Wow. Those were very interesting messages. Yeah. So let me see. Just cool. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've pulled these things out, but you know what? They make me happy. And despite the one card being all like weird, like the face of it halfway being ripped off, they're relatively smooth, and it's so much easier to shuffle them. I don't work with them nearly as often. And you're probably thinking, yeah, Jen, you should probably like work with them more often, maybe, you know, because like I'm kind of curious to see what comes out in those. Well, so am I. But I noticed that like I don't always have to pull them out. Not for every single thing. Not for every single thing. All right, Pluto Retrograde. I really love that planetary energies appear in these cards. Okay, if you take a look at this, you're going to see Mercury and Mars. That's why I love this deck so much. It's just, so many things come up in it. Okay. Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. What is going on in the North Node energy for everybody in everyone's Dharma during the Pluto retrograde? I personally like to focus on how to turn things around. versus looking them at as negatives. Okay, that's interesting. I'm getting a few empath cards. First card coming up, you have Pope Upright. Number 5 can mean a lot of things, really. Like, it can mean change, it can mean poverty, it can mean your internal and external compass having a good sense of direction. But right here we have Ascension and Jupiter. Jupiter is also retrograding up until September. Yeah. Some people would say that this right here on top signifies Saturn. I think it signifies Jupiter because I keep getting Jupiterian energy from the symbol. Definitely pay attention to your ascension time during this time of the Pluto retrograde. This says, I'm sinless, and the root of all sin derives from me. Believe in yourself more is definitely the message that wants to come through. And I'd like to kind of add on to that like the relationships that you have in your life, no matter what types they are, if they're strong or they're new and they just started, have more faith in them. Believe in them more and hold on. You have another 5 card here, second card, Storm Upright. This is not an easy time. It's like I said, because it's a time where things are being cleared from your path so that you can continue to move forward. This is all about Dharma, North Node energy. Okay? This is about moving forward on your life path and your purpose with a good sense of direction. And despite the storm, you still have a good sense of direction. Absolutely. Communication is key right now. Okay? And we're looking at all types of communication, not just verbal communication, but facial communication, body language, okay, things of that nature. Eye communication, that's why people have come up with smizing. Okay, smizing is when you smile with your eyes. I'm smizing. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay, it's not just like a, fashion speak in that industry, with the models, smize at the camera, that whole thing. It's a type of language because you're conveying a certain message. You're putting across a certain message. The skunk, you're projecting, okay? It's really interesting. You're projecting, absolutely. But you're also at the same time getting your ducks in a row. Just like the skunk card says. Interesting. This really wants to come out. Right here. Wow. I'm waiting for it to focus. Communication. North Node. Mercury and North Node. You're communicating a lot about how you want to move forward. This is the way that you're going to turn this energy around during the Pluto retrograde while focusing on your Dharma point, which is Cancer and North Node. Okay? You're focusing on that North Node energy, but more in a psychological way. This is an air card. We're looking at Psyche here. And no, this is not a Rorschach test. It's okay. If you look at this right here, though, speaking of that, you see that like the little dude's feet are up in the air. The little eye's feet are up in the air. But you also see like this thing underneath supporting it. It's resting, it's laying down, it's taking a nap. Okay. Well, this card inverted in general may mean that you're not separating from something because it's not put to rest. You are resting despite that because you're asking for it and it's happening. Breathe. I really love it. I do. Keep communicating, especially with the people that you're developing new relationships with and those who you have strong relationships with now. This also might be a point where people that you have not spoken with in years, that you're estranged from in one way, shape, or another, may pop up again, because they feel the need to kind of clear their road of things, but it's not up to you to help them to clear that road. They need to do it for themselves. Just like maybe you've had to do it for yourself, right? You know, the whole thing of separation without closure, that seems to be a very common thing in society now. So what needs to be done is to be, people need to start to be more responsible for themselves and finding their own closure, as painful as it can be. And this is not just a Cancerian thing. Understand, Cancer is in the North Node, and it will be up until the first half of 2020. We're also dealing with Pluto Retrograde energy, which takes things away from our path so that we can North Node move forward. It's all about that. And the only way to do that is to communicate with to the best of your ability what your needs are. Okay? Just communicate what your needs are. The people who you have strong relationships with will obviously understand because they know you. People that you're beginning new relationships with of any type, communication absolutely is key, and it is important because you're coming to understanding and they're coming to understanding of how things are, how things work. Do not allow communication to be skewed, because that'll put you in a karma point, which would be Capricorn and South Node right now. We're focusing on Cancer and North Node. We're focusing on our Dharma here. Okay? We're not trying to create more karma for ourselves. All right? So make sure that, you know, you're clear about your intentions, you're clear about your desires, you're clear about your vision, how you would like things to go. Because it's always up on the table for discussion. I'm not saying that everything's going to go your way. I'm just saying that it should be up on the table for discussion. You should never bypass or ignore your needs, okay? That is the worst decision that you could possibly make. I'd like to clarify Zephyr inverted. I'm always doing that too. Like any card that's inverted, I'm always clarifying. I'm like, why is that inverted? Like, I know why it is. Like, I see what's coming through. But still. Right away. Okay, that is quite interesting. I like that. It's another inverted card, but I think it's good news. Another 5 card as well. But it links up with this, okay. Clarifying it. Another North Node inverted too, wow, okay. It may be a thing to where communication is not going well in regards to pragmatic things, okay. Anything earthly, if it's a project that you're trying to launch or get off the ground, you may be having trouble communicating about how it needs to start. Like, it probably hadn't even started yet. And if it had, you may be running into either arguments or miscommunications. Because right now, since Pluto is in retrograde, everybody's focusing on their desires and what they want most, but what people don't realize is that everybody in the world has desires, not just them. It's like, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult time for everybody, and I'm not trying to say that in a negative way, or to put anybody down. It's just kind of a thing of, your desires right now are so strong. Okay, those things that you want to hold on to and get rid of at the same time. The desire for it is so strong. At this time, I would definitely suggest talking with your guides, your guardians, your ancestors, okay, your higher power, your beloved. Okay, light a candle. I'm not kidding. If I could find them, they're not over here. Oh well. I have these like really small mini taper candles that I keep. They're like emergency candles. And yeah, sometimes I'll do that. Absolutely, I would do that. I put my energy into it, and then I would light it, and I would start speaking. I would start speaking aloud what my desires are, what my fears are, everything. I would just start talking. And you'd be amazing. You would be amazed. You would be amazing. Weird. You would be amazing. Maybe it's that simple. You would be amazing. Just communicating that may make you amazing. Mercury. So what if it's inverted? You still have to communicate anyway. Because something about pragmatics, your pragmatics in material life, the material world, may either not be right or may not feel right at the time. So you need to start communicating. I think it's that simple. I don't know, man. Leave your comments. Let me know. Seriously. Yeah, thank you for joining me, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell because I'm only going to be doing the North Node, South Node readings once a month now instead of every astrological season, even though that's like almost the same because it's just so much easier. And I think that I'll be a lot more consistent doing that. And I don't make anybody upset. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah. Leave your comments and let me know what you got out of this. Because this is really freaking interesting. And I'm just so surprised that not many cards had to come out to get those messages. Probably because I involved my medicine deck. I don't know. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the South Node video. Take care. Blessed be.